You can always tell what the business world values by the advertising you see. Now, we have 2, 3, if you count New Year's, which I count, major holidays coming up in the next few weeks. Thanksgiving, of course, is later this week, and that's a time for families to gather, with some traveling hundreds of miles, to enjoy each other's company, as well as a grand meal. And of course, we have Christmas coming up. Now, for the business community, Thanksgiving, which involves comparatively little spending, is really just another trigger for Christmas shopping. So that we've already been seeing all of the Christmas advertising for some weeks now. And to hear the commercials and the other advertisements tell it, Christmas is really a gift-giving season. That's what it's all about, is gift-giving, and really nothing else. You'd never know to see the commercials and the newspaper inserts that Christmas is any kind of a religious holiday. As we well know, to make sure it's almost as if they want us to forget that it's a religious holiday. They don't even mention the word holiday. I mean, Christmas, right? They just call it a holiday. So they don't even use that term Christmas because it would suggest that there's a Mass on Christ's day. That's the origin of the name. So we're left to fill in the blank as to which holiday it might be. And make no mistake also that to the commercial industry, Christmas, really more than a gift-giving season, it's a gift-buying season. They probably don't really care all that terribly much what you do with what you buy, so long as you buy it. But if they can entice you to buy by suggesting that it's so you can give it to your family and friends, well then, by all means, give the stuff you buy to whomever you wish. Now, I mention all of that because obviously we're going to be approaching Advent. That would start on Sunday. And in this very brief yet poignant account in our gospel this morning about the widow, it might help to understand that back in that time, widows often had little means of independent support. I mean, if they came from a wealthy family, I guess that would have been fine. But we know she's poor. And if a widow had no male children to care for them, they were usually expected to be cared for by any other surviving relatives. And if their families were poor, or if they had no other family, they were usually just left on their own to survive the best way they could. And this often meant relying on the generosity of others. Now, the temple treasury was a source of support for the poor. But in this story, it is the woman who is most likely to have been a beneficiary of the temple treasury who gives from what she normally would need to sustain herself. Now, our Lord doesn't criticize the wealthy others who put their offerings in the treasury. He merely notes that their donations were sort of like another line item in their weekly budget. They gave from their excess wealth. But instead, our Lord notes that the great faith of he notes this great faith of the poor widow, who, having no idea whether the temple treasury or anyone else for that matter would always be able to sustain her, still chose to give to others in need. In other words, her gift was a true sacrifice for the benefit of someone else. And her gift might very likely have benefited people she didn't even know at all. So she wasn't just checking names off a Christmas list. She just plain gave, and gave out of her genuine kindness, her goodness, her magnanimity. And what she did was, in a manner of speaking, a microcosm of the mission of our Lord. Because what did he do on the cross? He gave 100% of himself. What he had to give, he gave, just like the widow. What she had to give, she gave. Now, many years ago, a priest at my home parish used to say that Christmas is Jesus' birthday. So as we run around hither and yon searching for the right gift for everyone on our list, what is it that we're planning to bring to the Christ child on Christmas morning? After all, it's his birthday, right? And he's already given us everything. He gave, as I said, 100% of himself for our salvation. So, while we're checking off names on our Christmas list this Advent, and make no mistake too, I too will be giving gifts. Make sure that our Lord also is on that list. And let us seek to bring him our hearts and our souls prepared to receive him on Christmas.